All right. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon. Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to Lent. If any of you guys practice Lent and give anything up, it is Ash Wednesday. So all these great things rolled into one. I hope whether you have a Valentine or you're going to be celebrating Singles Awareness Day tomorrow, I hope it's lots of fun for you guys. So, my name's Kayla. If you haven't been here before, I'm the client account consultant here at Opus Management. We're a business consulting firm that specializes in bringing enterprise technology to small and mid-sized businesses at a reasonable cost. We want to be able to fit your budget. And every Wednesday, you can join me here for Water Cooler Wednesday. We talk about topics that you guys want to talk about. Pardon me. We talk about topics I want to talk about and things just in general across your business needs. So whether it's social media, operations, HR, budgeting, accounting, software, sales teams, trainings, all of those great things. We talk about several of them. So I hope that you find at least some knowledge or value. There's the word. Y'all, it's been a Wednesday. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like everybody I've talked to today, we are having one heck of a Wednesday. I don't know if it's coming off of yesterday and it being Fat Tuesday and the end of Mardi Gras, the start of Lent, the fact that it's Valentine's Day in the middle of the day. I know that my daughter had a school dance last night, and second graders had a school dance. It was great. They had a wonderful time. It was super early, but it just throws the whole week off when we have crazy things like that. But anyway, I hope that you guys find some value to these Water Cooler Wednesdays. You can catch us on all the social media platforms, live streaming every Wednesday. I'm on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. I don't think we live stream on Twitter. Well, maybe we do. Facebook, Instagram, and occasionally I get on my own personal TikTok and let that run live. But let's talk. Today we're going to talk about some sales and kind of empowering your people to sell. And sorry I say that funny, but some of the options that we have and what we don't want to see. So as we're going into this new year, we want to do things different as a business because so many people out there are pressuring. If you scroll through social media, I feel like every other post that I see, whether, it's trying to sell me something, and that makes me crazy. I also know that we've seen a ton of people that have gone through, that go into your brick and mortar stores and they feel the pressure, from the associates. Like, how often do you walk in and be like, I'm good, I'm just looking? Nobody wants that creepy person that's just following you around and just we don't want to give off the old used car salesman vibe, right? Like I'm gonna do anything to get a deal with you. Genuinely, and especially here at Opus, we want to figure out what your need is and how we can help you alleviate the pain points. So we want to find a solution that fits your budget, that fits, the systems that you use and fits your people and allow you to better your business as you move forward. So let's talk a little bit about kind of what that looks like. And I'm gonna shorten one of the trainings that we do here at Opus with impact, with helping people sell better without being a pushy salesman. And we're going to kind of talk about some pieces of this, right? So a lot of times, think about where you and who you talk to when you're looking for something, right? It's people that you trust. It's people that show up in your life. It's people that you feel like have made sound decisions. They were in a similar instance or had a similar experience to what you have had, and that came through it on the other side. So people saw you go through you saw someone go through a struggle, and you saw them come out, the other side, survive it, thrive from it, any of those things. And and that's somebody that you trust, right? You trust their opinion. You know that they've been through what you've been through, what you were thinking, any of those pieces of it. They've been through it, so you trust at least to get the advice from them. And I think as business owners and operators, we have to think about that. When you're thinking about, whether it's your online presence, which we talk a lot about here on Water Cooler Wednesday, or it's just, yourself as a brand, like, are you someone that is trustworthy? Are you someone that people come to for advice? Are you someone that is sought out for advice? Have you built that trust in others? Does your following trust you? So when, they trust that you're going to be there, they trust that you give them good information, they trust that you motivate them on a Monday, you help them get through the middle of the week, any of those kinds of things, right? Like you think about your audience, your customer base, and how you build that trust. And then, we're going to grow from that. So if you put the time in to build the trust, and you've put the time in that people know that they can look at your social media, and you're not trying to cram the next great big thing down their throat. If you've been through 5 or 6 MLM companies and you message the same people and try to get them to buy your stuff, they're not going to trust you, right? Because you haven't stuck with it. You're not, you're not being consistent, and you're not building that foundation for your relationship. But if you've shown up and you've been honest, they have seen the different sides. And part of that's vulnerability, right? Like being honest, being a little bit vulnerable when things are tough. These are just some of those things that build that trust up. Once you do that, then you have the right kind of to ask them about, you can either ask them, or if you know what the problem is and you know that your product or your service provides a solution, then you can start telling them about it, right? Like, then you've gained the right to have that conversation with them and really tell them, why something would work and why something would be better for them. And I think that that's a big piece. So often we want to make people listen to us, right? We want them to value our opinion, but maybe you just met somebody and you're like trying to shove, your product or your service down their throat, and you really haven't done anything to build that trust. So like for us, we had a service come out and give us an estimate for trimming trees at the house. And the guy came in and basically kind of, started just being like, here's what we're going to do and here's how much it's going to be. And as the consumer or the customer asked more questions, he really didn't have any answers for me. Like, he couldn't, talk about how he had, dealt with the live oaks and how they were growing to make the changes and what would they do to, keep my horses safe, and had they worked through the pastures, and did he know what the forecast was going to be when he was putting me on the schedule? If he's going to put me on Friday, well, I already knew it was going to rain on Friday and it was going to be cold. Well, guess what? You can't drive the trucks through my pasture when it's wet. Like, if it's raining, you can't do it. Like, you're going to get them stuck. Like, I'm not in an area that could do it. So I really didn't trust the man that was talking to me and giving me this estimate and trying to just get me to pay for the services. Obviously, I needed it at this point, right? Like, trees in the power lines over the barn, over the house. I know I need them cut, but I'm not just going to go with, you were able to get out here and you were able to get me in quickly, but like, you're not paying attention to the small things and you're not building that trust that makes me want to say yes to you. So unfortunately for him, I had no problem saying no. I shut it down very quickly, and we moved on and found somebody else that actually took the time to have conversations and find out, I love the oak trees. Like, that's my big thing. And so, there's certain pieces and aspects of certain trees that I want to keep. And, how can we make my, like, the things that I wanted fit into what we needed to protect the property. And because he took that time and he understood and he knew the weather was going to be rough, he gave us a window and several days that we could look at based on what the ground did after it rained. And, he was very mindful of the things that I was worried about. And it made me saying yes and buying his services that much easier. So as we're going through this, I think a lot of times we forget about, building that trust. That trust also gets people to come back, right? Like, if you trust a company or you trust the service provider, you're going to come back. And, especially if they understand, where you're coming from, or you've done a great job starting that baseline, then you earn that right to retain that customer. And, and nowadays when Amazon is so easy, or, whatever the next big thing is, Temu or whatever, everything's online. Like, we really have to look at how do we create that loyalty and build that customer base where they do want to come back, or maybe they do want to. If you're in the restaurant industry and they're ordering food, how do you get them to return, and maybe they're going to DoorDash it, or what's the other one, Uber Eats, or a delivery service. Those are some things to think about, especially as you look at going forward and how are you going to continue to grow in our current economy. How are you going to make that experience for each client great? Pardon me. Excuse me. Excuse me. But just some things to think about. If you guys have a brick and mortar store and you are looking into helping to train your associates to really meet the needs of your customers and build out loyalty, go check out opusmanagement.us. We can schedule some time to chat, talk about the courses that we offer, whether it be in person or virtually. And we can go from there, right? We can talk about some trainings and what that looks like, how to help your company. If you want to look into setting up some campaigns for your social media, we're happy to help. Same place. We've got several options where you guys can schedule time for a free discovery. So let's talk about your pain points. What is it that you feel is holding your business back? What are your biggest frustrations? What are your people's biggest frustrations? We can find we've got several services that we could probably help you out with. And if we can't, that's not an option, we're going to be honest with you and we'll let you know. We want you guys to succeed as much as us. And it doesn't do us at Opus any good to sell you something that's not going to work for you. So I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful rest of your Valentine's Day. Enjoy dinner. If you're single, enjoy tomorrow. I know that I sure will. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Again, my name is Kayla. I'm the client account consultant here at Opus Management. And you can join me every Wednesday around noon Central Time for Water Cooler Wednesday, and we'll talk about your topics. Have a great